Has Henry Cavill returned to the role of Superman? Why did Henry Cavill return as Superman after James Gunn began writing his film? Cavill made his Superman comeback in Black Adam's post-credits scene, marking his first appearance since The Man of Steel in 2017's Justice League. James Gunn is retaliating against the notion that he and fellow DC Films president Peter Safran are the ones who destroyed Henry Cavill's hopes of becoming Superman again. Gunn disclosed that Cavill, who formally declared his comeback as the Man of Steel in the first place at the presentation of their new vision of the DC universe. Gunn insisted that he had no animosity towards Cavill at all. Back in December, he revealed that he was writing a Superman movie without Cavill. Gunn claims that Superman Legacy, the upcoming Superman film, will be the true beginning of the DCU. Taking place on July 11, 2025 in theaters, the movie will focus on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing, according to a press release. Without James Gunn's involvement taking place later in the timeline, it is regrettable that Henry Cavill returned to the role of Superman in Black Adam just to be replaced in Superman Legacy. The fact that DC knew Cavill didn't support Gunn's concept for Superman Legacy, and that they might have averted the uncertainty, makes his departure and subsequent return as Superman all the more unfortunate. A relaunch of Superman makes sense, but Cavill might have done a better job portraying the character if the DCEU had let him resemble the comic book version of the character. A behind-the-scenes look at Superman Legacy reveals how illogical it was for Henry Cavill to play Superman again prior to the DC Universe reset. Man of Steel showed a lot of promise for the DCEU's Superman, but Cavill's potential as the character was hampered by director Zack Snyder's vision for the character, and DC's executives desired to move away from it before Superman became like he is in the comics. As a result, Cavill never truly had his chance to shine as Clark Kent. A new Man of Steel will now be introduced in James Gunn's Superman Legacy. David Corran Sweat has taken Cavill's position in Superman Legacy. The DC Universe's Clark Kent is expected to be younger than in the DCEU. However, Corran Sweat's origin story will not be presented in his feature debut. The cast of Superman Legacy also features well-known actors such as Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern, and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. Even if the Superman revival is thrilling, it's important to remember that Cavill made a comeback to the character a year ago in Black Adam, and it looks like he'll be playing the character for a long time. That didn't happen, and Cavill's entire DC leaving and return is made much worse by Superman Legacy detail. Cavill made his Superman comeback in Black Adam's post-credits scene, making his first appearance since The Man of Steel in 2017's Justice League. A new Superman for the DC Universe relaunch was revealed 2 months after Cavill's departure from the film, which set up an epic showdown between Superman and Black Adam for the future of DCEU. Subsequently, Gunn disclosed his hiring schedule for Superman, which curiously verified that the creative chief of the DCU began drafting the script for Superman Legacy some months before Cavill's appearance in Black Adam. In February of last year, Gunn disclosed that he was engaged to write Superman Legacy sometime in August of 2022, 2 months prior to Cavill's return to the role of Superman in Black Adam. The whole situation seems absurd, since there are numerous rumors stating that a Man of Steel 2 was receiving pitches at DC. After Superman didn't appear in DC for a few years, the company decided to have 2 different Supermans. The fact that Gunn's disclosure made Cavill's Superman exit even more painful is that it was because Cavill didn't suit Gunn's vision for Superman Legacy, which DC was well aware of. This means the studio could have avoided misunderstandings by removing Cavill's Superman from Black Adam. Due to Superman's persistent association with dark themes and Cavill's portrayal of the character, who appears far more traumatized than the comic book character Clark Kent, the DCEU's Superman proved somewhat controversial. Superman's storyline was shortened by the studio, but in the end, Snyder had disclosed that he intended for the character to return to his comic book form at the conclusion of the story. This is ultimately how the character should have been presented from the beginning, although Superman Legacy makes sense because it aims to portray Cavill as the traditional Superman. The DCEU failed to use Cavill to his full potential as a comic book accurate Superman. The announcement that Henry Cavill will not be returning to the role of Superman in the worlds of DC has shocked DC fans. When Cavill unexpectedly reappeared as the Man of Steel in Black Adam's credit sequence only in October, it hinted at great things to come. He had been discussing such a bright future ahead for his Superman after the film's premiere. As per the prevalent critique of the DC era Cavill made his debut in, that brightness quickly gave way to darkness just a few months later. Given that Cavill has stated he is hanging up the cape, so to speak, that Black Adam's cameo is the best fans are going to get. It's crucial to keep in mind that DC Studios has had a new CEO since the October 21 release of Black Adam. On October 25th, James Gunn and the veteran DC Films producer Peter Safran confirmed this. Though he wouldn't have meant it to be taken so literally, Dwayne Johnson may have been alluding to how Black Adam will change the power structure in the DC universe. Consequently, it seems logical that the new team has started working on their future plans for the DC and the worlds of DC. Now, this does not imply that Cavill's days in the Cape are gone because of a new Superman who will be arriving in town. After all, Variety has revealed that J.J. Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates' adaptation of Superman was still in the early stages of development. Different incarnations of the same character, like Batman, can exist in the world of DC. However, Cavill clarified in a statement that he will not be playing Superman again after Gunn's statements. The actor is suffering a double blow because he recently left The Witcher, where he played as Geralt, presumably to make time for a new Superman film. That may have been the case in the past, but it isn't now. It's likely that Cavill's departure signals a definite break from the Zack Snyder established DC reality, as Black Adam appeared to be returning to that version of the worlds of DC. We were all shocked by this abrupt casting change for Superman, because in our opinion, Henry Cavill was the ideal version of the character. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to receive notifications. Until next time.